And we are live. What's up, Fav?
Are we really?
We're really live. We are really,
Oh
really
boy.
live. And
So we're
today,
here.
we're going to be talking about a couple of ferocious felines.
Yes, we are.
So,
Which one would you like to start with? Would you like to start with the one that kicked your ass, or would you like to start with the one that's kicking everybody else's ass?
I guess we can start with the one that kicked my ass. Barragan, or who I would call that stupid fucking lion.
Yes. So since yesterday, we finally got the Vortex released, and we got to see what it was like. Um, I liked it.
I did too.
I liked the Vortex.
I liked easy
I
mode.
know. I know Recoome feels differently.
I mean, it's definitely a good vortex. I mean, I did the easy mode, no problem, obviously. Opened up the hard mode, got to phase 3, and ended up not. So I used Seni Krissa DBB to try to purge and negate time skip, and it didn't work. And then he time skipped my full over or my UBB Sovenar and my Saren, which essentially meant that I had no UBB for damage and I had no BC on or BB on Spark. So with those two things combined, I couldn't fill the gauges and just kind of died. So
Oof.
it's the only attempt that I've done. I'm sure if I do another one, I'll do fine. But for now, I'm just a little salty. Not gonna lie.
So I can feel that.
Yeah,
I'd say the difficulty of it is somewhere between where Vizier is
hmm
and where Osiris is.
most
Because
definitely.
I don't feel, I feel like DBB is still maybe not necessary, but very helpful in
hmm
clearing it. But I don't feel like DBB is the only thing that deals damage to it. On the
Definitely not.
contrary, I feel like DBB eats his health extremely quickly,
hmm
and the only reason that he's not like being beaten in seconds is because he revives 2 times.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, the first and second phase, I just absolutely cleaved him, even with Seni Krissa DBB, which is at level 1 or like level 2. I still cleaved right through him with the DBB. So thinking about like I don't know Sorrenthus Sovenar at max level is gonna deal a lot more damage. However, for those of you who are struggling with that time skip and do have Seni Krissa DBB, that's the one that I would suggest using, simply because it offers the ability to purge and negate time skip, which is going to make things a lot easier.
Actually, just use it all the time
Yeah.
because Cine DBB actually does more damage than Sovenar DBB.
Does it really?
Because
Huh.
Cine's damage mods,
Mm,
like her SP damage mods, are higher than Sovenar's.
nuts. I didn't even know
Which
that.
is this is like the one situation in which Cine would win.
Yeah. Huh.
It's weird.
That is weird. Regardless, you heard it here first, folks. Um, it's pretty easy if you're just paying attention, knowing what you're doing. Not for newer players, obviously, but for veterans who have dealt with content like this before, that'll make it a lot easier. I'm trying to think of what else we can cover when we're talking about him. There's not necessarily a whole lot having to do with him, just because it's pretty cut and dry to me. Would you agree?
I can give a brief guide that I woke.
That'd be
Uh,
good.
I can't talk. Uh, I wrote a brief guide for Barragan hard mode, which essentially is this: boss is split into 3 phases. Phase one, boss will target the unit in the friend slot. So whatever you bring as a friend, he's going to target. He'll
hmm
give himself regeneration, and if the targeted unit dies, he'll inflict your entire team with doom and continuously hit you with an AoE until either you die or he hits 0%,
hmm
at which point he'll expel the doom. So basically, the entire fight is about keeping that one unit alive because that's the only thing he'll attack, and outpacing his regeneration, which isn't too difficult because
Yep.
you still got 5 units to mess with.
Basically.
He'll then stall for 3 turns with a shield. If you break this shield before he transitions to phase two, he'll start phase two with 80% health.
hmm
Phase two is where he starts inflicting turn skips. He actually opens that fight with full party 1 turn skip. and then he attempts to inflict longer skips throughout that phase. But if you just use either Sinian Krissa DBB,
Mm-hmm.
Lutherian Gilgamesh DBB, or
Mm-hmm.
Saren Kastia DBB,
Yep.
you can become immune to turn skip and cleanse it from yourself and then demolish
I
him.
believe it is at a chance even at level 4 though, but that chance is pretty good. So
It is. I mean, I was using level 1 and it was always cleansing and it was always negating. So
okay, well there you go.
I don't really know. Maybe I'm just master of luck over here, but
It would seem
or
that way.
maybe he was just being dumb. I don't know.
I don't know. Regardless, Seni DBB is pretty solid, but yeah, um, I forgot that.
Phase he'll do another shield. If you break it, he'll start phase 3 with 80% health.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, phase 3 is just a damage race. When you see him reducing the spark resistance of your team, either full guard or throw up some spark mitigation because that thing hits hard.
Mm-hmm.
He can smack with the attack that reduces your spark resistance. And basically, all you need to do is nuke him down from here and stay alive. Also, note that if any unit is in overdrive for more than one turn, then he will knock the unit out of overdrive and waste your entire overdrive gauge.
Mm-hmm.
So, use fusions.
Yay. Um, so if you're struggling, I feel like what tips would you give if people are having a tough time and they're kind of following that? Is there any tips that can be given that might be overlooked when doing the first or the second run? And totally asking for a friend on this one. Definitely not for me.
uh, I would say that for if you're like really new to the game, don't do hard mode. Just
Mhm.
don't. Do easy mode. Spin, and I know I'm probably gonna get some flack for recommending this, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna give some explanation for it. On the easy mode of this for Barragan, use as many gems as you have to in order to beat him.
Mhm.
Because however many gems that you spend beating him are worth less than the reward you get for beating easy mode, which is Omni Tillith,
Mhm.
which besides being cute as heck, is also extremely strong.
Yeah. Just before making this video, Faf actually, and you can explain what you went and did with just a Tillith.
Yeah, I went and so there's a final boss of sorts of story mode in Ishgria, and I just took Omni Tillith, sphered her up well, and not like super well. I sphered her with like an RC7 sphere, her own sphere, and then the thing you get at the top of the hunter ranks.
Mhm.
And I just went at Karnamasta. He wasn't even able to really damage Tillith at
It's
all.
pretty entertaining.
The play-by-play was essentially, oh, I'm at full SVB gauge, and I'm going to attack again. Oh, he's attacking. You dealt 1 damage. That was the fight.
It was pretty fun to watch as Karnamasa just sort of crumpled.
It's also fun to watch because there's actually some dialogue in that fight where Tillith, as in not the one in your squad, but the one in the story,
Mhm.
tries to block the attack to save you, and she says like, I'm sorry, I couldn't protect you. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're fine. You lost like a fourth of your health and you recover it immediately.
Essentially. I feel like there's not a whole lot else to cover about Barragan and everything having to do with stupid fucking lion. So I feel like we can move on to the other lion, or I guess a tiger in this case, and
Yes,
Thunder Vortex
this is
Arena.
Cassia. Now, we briefly went over her before in the sense that we reviewed Cassia's kit. She's still the same viability as she was before. She's great for people who don't have Deku, but if you have Dekus and you're using the more Deku strategy, you're not going to use Cassia. That
Yeah.
still has not changed. Um, TVA has now released. I don't know if. Okay, so for reference,
Mhm.
Cassia on release had pretty much the worst arena AI that a unit could possibly have, which was Arena AI 5. This AI is commonly used for healing units, and basically what would happen is that the unit would refuse to Brave Burst at all unless one of your team members was below, I think it's 50% HP. It might be
Mhm.
25%.
Something absurd like that.
It's something along those lines. And this meant that Cassia, as she stood on release, was the worst Vortex Arena unit to date in actual Vortex Arena.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was changed or not, and I haven't seen enough people using her to test.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think. I mean, then again, I haven't played TVA very much because
The
the
rewards are
sphere
just
for this
underwhelming.
Vortex Arena is an extremely. It's like a budget version of Daltisk,
Mhm.
and I already have Daltisk, and I already went for Vivid Vanity. I don't need
Yeah.
another Daltisk. I have enough.
Basically, it's
Even Iridescent Hope is another Daltisk, and it's better than this sphere.
precisely. I don't really see much merit at all in going for this sphere. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to go for it at all. I think I'll go for maybe the what 1500 to 6000 rank one just because I want the tokens, but other than that I really don't care.
I think I'll just do what I do for every single Vortex Arena, which is that I'll go for the summon ticket and
Yeah.
8,000, pick up the free whatever it's
Mhm.
called ticket at 5,000 and then
Mhm.
spend it and then not worry about it again.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, it may
That's my
have merit
plan.
to some people, but I just don't see it being useful really in any way, especially with the existence of Iridescent Hope, Daltisk, and a billion other spheres that do basically the same thing.
I mean, for you, Cassia is great because you
Yeah,
don't have Dekus.
I'm talking about the sphere, not Cassia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me, I want Cassia really bad because I don't have a single fucking Deku because he's an asshole and eluded me.
He's not an asshole. He's the strongest hero.
I don't care. He wouldn't come into my box, and therefore he's an asshole. uh,
Meanwhile, over here, I'm just like, I want to pull for Deku, and I think it was Ochako that was
mhm.
paired on his gate. And then I, like, pulled Deku, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Now it's time to go for Ochako, and then I got two more Dekus before I got Ochako.
Basically, I was
You
rather
were very
unhappy.
nettled.
Yes, because all I got was two fucking Ochakos. So I did a
Did
lot
you
of
get
I did a lot of summons and only got two
did you get
Ochakos.
Tsuyu or Bakugo?
Nope. Did I
Because
did an obscene amount of summons during that collab, and I only got two Ochakos.
I am very glad that my luck ran strong for that collab.
It's fine though because I might not have a Bakugo, but I have like 12 trillion fucking Inokos. So
That you do.
still no Blaze, but a lot of Inoko.
Still no Blaze.
A lot of still no Blaze, still no Bailey. A
We've
lot of
gone
fucking
way off
Inoko.
topic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it's still relatively on topic because it's VA, but I understand. There's not a whole lot to cover in terms of VA because there's just not a whole lot of variation that comes in between them, you know? Because what I see is that they keep releasing VA units that I don't really even use in VA. You know, they're phenomenal nukers, great units, but I don't use them in VA, and so it feels like the meta really doesn't change. And like CC pointed out in stream chat, fucking go in there, slap a war cry on your behemoth, um, put a couple Fenias in there and have a good time. It's not a whole lot.
If you're like at the end of the game and
Mm-hmm.
you just want an insta fix every single Vortex arena, pretty much every single Vortex arena, do the following: Wrath of Grant and Formless Chroma.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath of Grant gives you 100% chance to AoE normal. Formless Chroma gives you 100% chance to inflict all status ailments.
Yeah.
You will instantly paralyze the entirety of your opponent's team because they will be using Algore, Turnos, and all these other things that only activate when they're playing
Mm-hmm.
and not on defense. You will paralyze their entire team, and you will instantly win because they will not be able to do anything to stop you. That is what every single Vortex Arena does. Consequently, if you are a new player and you happen to be doing Vortex Arena for some reason, I cannot stress how much of a bad idea that is to try and scale early on. Do not attempt to fight anyone who is 999 if you do not have status ailment null at a minimum.
Yeah. And fighting someone who is 999 in general as a new player, especially, you know, under 500 and things like that, you're gonna have a bad time. Because people who are 999, even with the frequency of Super Karma Dungeon, have definitely put in some hours and definitely have a lot of spheres and units on you. So if you're a new player and you're watching this, I would suggest not even worrying about Vortex Arenas as much as you might think, because there's a lot of other things that you should be focusing on than Vortex Arena.
I'd say get to 5k points.
Yeah.
And then back out.
Get the ticket.
Take your battles carefully, but don't worry about scaling up to 8,000 or whatever. That gets you 3 free gems and a ticket.
And definitely don't worry about the sphere, because even though it might seem useful, go, do 3 or 4 seasons of Frontier Hunter, and with the new scaling for people under 100, you'll have your Daltisk. So I wouldn't really worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Though the Dual Arena tokens may be useful, or Dual Arena tokens, Vortex Arena tokens may be useful to people who are new players, because some of those, especially the honors and some of the wings, can have some use. Other than that, I feel like that pretty much covers it, because there's just not a whole lot to talk about right now. We had, our last video, which was full of a lot of hype from, the new BNC, and other than that, I mean, nothing has really changed other than the Barragan dungeon.
I'd say call me back when it's time for Phil Swift Vortex Arena, because that one I'll be going hard on, pretty much regardless of what the sphere is.
Basically. Yeah, I'll be going nuts. I'll summon a whole bunch of Phil Swifts, and then me and my army of Phil Swift will go and fucking saw Vortex Arena in half.
You think I should do it with Tillith lead?
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I'll do it too. We could record some of it and post us just fucking around with Tilliths. That'd be fun.
Because that adds full status null, so everyone would just be like, why?
Yeah, works for me.
Do you like this?
Yeah.
If we can get Formless Chroma before that point, then we can stream ourselves statusing every opponent to death.
I actually think I can probably get Formless Chroma before that point, because I actually have 3 elements done for the Omphalos and stones and stuff, and 3 more to do, and when the the double rates comes out, which will come out before the Light Vortex Arena, I think. The double drop rate comes out, I'll probably just go and spam for Formless Chroma, and then I could make a Wrath of Grant Formless Chroma Tillith.
I have none of them, but I am willing, if you message me, then we can just do a whole bunch of raids back to back to back.
Yeah.
And we can try and knock it out in a month. I think a month would
works for me.
As long as it would take for us to go all the way for Formless.
Yeah, sounds about right. Awesome. Well, look forward to that, everybody, because apparently we're going to be rolling out the Wrath of Grant Formless Chroma Tillith lead. So.
Well, no, not those.
That's what I'm doing.
Tillith.
That's what I'm doing.
Why would you do that for Tillith?
Why wouldn't I?
I want Phil Swift to do it.
I'll have Phil Swift saw in half what's left remaining.
My opponent's team in half and inflict them with status elements.
It's a good point. We'll see.
That's the entire point.
I don't know. But yeah, I think that just about covers everything having to do with Vortex Arena, Barragan. If you guys have any tips or tricks for either of those things, you can leave them down in the comments, or anything to say about any of that content. Faf, any closing remarks?
Tillith is cute, protect, smile, pat heads, pretty battle kisses, and I honestly ran out of things to say.
Yeah, pretty much. For me, I would say, the usual subscribe. Go check out our new Twitter account. We respond to the Brave Frontier Twitter account all the time, and they actually responded to us once, so essentially we're famous. Also, just real quick, while I have you all here, We did reach 100 subscribers. Thank you guys so
Woo!
fucking much for that. That's so exciting. 100 subscribers on YouTube is really cool. And so, expect 100 subscribers special at some point. Not really sure when it's going to come out yet, but it will be soon. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, check out the Twitter, follow the Twitch, and I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you next time.